Everyone. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so good to see you all here. Thank you again for your time. Thank you for being here. Um, it's I'm sorry, I was trying to, you know, make sure that you know, everyone can hear me. I just wanted to be sure that everybody can hear me and see me. Thank you for being a part of today's podcast. My name is Temisan Ojabo, and I am one of the hosts on this podcast for the Oaks of Africa podcast. This started in 2020, and I was sharing a couple of things for about 3 years, and then I went on a sabbatical and now I am back. So it is my delight to be speaking to us today on something that I have been thinking about, given all of the things that has been happening within the shores of Nigeria. So thank you all for being here. Please, if you know somebody who needs to be here, please invite them to be on this podcast because this is a place where we're learning, and that is one of the things that inspired me to start this podcast. Is I understand that civic education, politics, governance is something that people try to not really. It's not like we don't want to be a part of it, but we try as much as we can to stay away from it because of all of the sentiment and all of the hurts and all of the pain that has happened over decades. And my desire is to see how I can use education of some sort to cultivate civic intelligence within our ecosystem. And that's all the people that are listening to me. I want to be able to inform citizens. I want every citizen of any country because the the context of the nation we'll be discussing is in Nigeria, right? And that is because I live in Nigeria. I'm Nigerian, right? However, if you're in Africa or other parts of the world, it would almost apply. So, whichever country you belong to and you're listening to my voice, welcome and welcome again. Um, I am just going to start, and we are on all platforms. You can find us on Instagram for the Oaks of Africa, on Twitter, on that's X for the Oaks of Africa, on LinkedIn as well for the Oaks of Africa. Just go follow us um, whenever we have a session coming up, a podcast episode coming up, we will share. You can also subscribe to this channel. Please help us grow. Share with those that you know need the education, and let us get right into it. One of the things that I believe is I believe that each country has value to give. I believe that whatever country you find yourself, you were there for a reason, for a purpose. And as ambiguous as that word would sound and almost daunting if you think deeply about it, leadership is very important. How a nation selects their leaders, how they participate in governance, all trickle down to the kind of country we all enjoy. So, at for the Oaks of Africa, my goal is to speak to your conscience. To every citizen in any nation, particularly Nigeria, my goal is to speak to your conscience today. I'm not coming here as a member of any political party. I'm not coming here as a campaigner. I'm not here as a propagandist. No, I am here as a citizen that deeply cares about the future of my country. I care about the future of Africa. And I want to begin with a foundational question. And that question is, what is democracy to us? I know, I remember there was this definition I crammed, and I don't know what level of education I was at the time, but they say democracy is the government for the people, by the people. As I'm defining this, I'm sure you're shaking your head like that cannot even be the definition, right? Especially when you see what that looks like today in 2026. right? So today is the 9th of June 2026, and I'm doing this to say when I did a bit of research, I was like, what is democracy? Right? Because if I say, let's just jump and start saying, oh, you should vote, this is what election is, governance, public policy, national development, it's like, why do we need to understand all of these things? Why are all these parts very important? But there's a reason why they are important. They live under a system, under an umbrella, and that umbrella is the word democracy, right? Democracy is from two Greek words, meaning demos, meaning the people. Demos, as in demography, you understand that. Greek is one of the places where a lot of English words have their root words. So there's Greek, there's Latin, etc. Those are the couple that I can speak on right now. So demos means the people. Kratos meaning people or rule. So when you put those two words, democracy means rule by the people. Please, can you say it with me together? Rule by the people. If you're feeling like it, please type it in the chat. Democracy means rule by the people. A democracy is a system of government in which citizens have the authority to participate in choosing leaders and influencing public decisions. I want to let that sink in. Democracy means rule by the people. Rule by the people. Rule by the people. Democracy means rule by the people. Rule by the people. I'm playing. Yes, because I don't want us to forget what democracy means. What does democracy mean again? It's a system of government in which citizens have the authority to participate. Citizens have the authority to participate in what? In choosing leaders and influencing public decision. Who is a citizen? A citizen is a legally recognized member of state or a nation who owes allegiance to its government and is entitled entitled to its rights, protections, and privileges. It is your legal status that binds you to a country. So those are people that have left Africa, left any part of Nigeria to foreign nations in the hopes to get citizenship. What that means is you are saying that you want to be a part of that nation. So one of the ways you know that you're a part of a nation is that you have the right to vote. That's how you know. So if you don't have the right to vote, you are not a citizen. So if you marry a Nigerian and you're in Nigeria and you don't have your papers that qualify that says you're a citizen, you cannot vote. In democracy, the political power ultimately belongs to the people, the citizens. I know you are just like, why are you saying all of these things? There's where I'm going to. So I need all of us to work together. We're on a journey. We're going to get there very soon. But if you listen to me carefully, you will understand that I keep saying people, citizens, me, you. We are citizens of different countries. And in this case, we're citizens of Nigeria. It doesn't say that democracy belongs to the kings. It doesn't say democracy belongs to rulers. Small. It doesn't say democracy belongs to the elite political class. It doesn't say that democracy belongs to the elite small group. It doesn't say that democracy belongs to the bourgeoisies within a nation. It doesn't even say democracy belongs to a political party. What it says is that it belongs to the people, you and I, that occupy space and time within a geographic space. We are the people. Now, this participation in democracy often happens through election, voting, civic engagements, public discussions, advocacy, accountability mechanisms. Just think about that. Please, as you think about this, ask yourself, as a citizen of my country, have I participated in any of these things? Just have that at the corner of your mind as we're speaking, right? Voting, elections, civic engagements, public discussions, advocacy, accountability mechanisms, these are all participations that you and I should be a part of as our rights. We are entitled to it. It is your civic right, especially if you are 18 years and above. And now I am going to niche down to being in Nigeria. To other people listening to me from every part of the world, please apply this to your country. Researchers and democratic institutions consistently over time describe citizen participation as one of the defining characteristics of a healthy democracy. So, voting is widely regarded as one of the most direct forms of political participation that is available to you as a citizen. So, while we want to go and advocate, protest, um, shut down our work, do different things, boycott businesses, all the things we would like to do to let the government know that this is where what we think, what we feel, the healthiest, the fastest, the strongest, I dare say, ways for we as members of society to participate in the democratic system of our nation is by voting. That is the place where an 18-year-old gets a voice, a 90-year-old gets a voice, a 100-year-old gets a voice, a 50-year-old gets a voice, a married person gets a voice, a single person gets a voice, a civil servant gets a voice, an unemployed person gets a voice. Every single person that is above 18 years has a voice when it comes to voting. We are powerful. That is the power that we have been given with democracy. Democracy is a culture. It is a way of organizing society so that when the people see that they have a part to play, there's a sense of ownership, right? That is why in other systems of government, other nations that don't practice democracy, their systems are different. Nobody asks the people, what do you think? Come and vote. Nobody, whoever you see there as your leader, just take it and move on. That's it. That's just all that matters. But in a democracy, that's not the way it goes. What happens is you have the right to vote. Now, democracy is also not a spectator sport. You are not sitting. So, I have been privileged to see how people take election day. People see election days as public holidays. That's a terrible mindset that we have. It's like you've been given the opportunity to make a point. And instead of you to make the point, you are sleeping on that day. Many people think democracy begins at the end of election day, at the end of the polling process. When they finish counting the votes, they've shared everything, they've announced, oh, you sat in your polling unit, they've counted everything, then that's the end. That is not, that is not, that doesn't even cut it. Democracy requires active citizens. So if a democracy is failing, what that means is the citizens of that nation are not active. I'll say that again slowly. When a democracy is failing, what that means is the citizens of that nation what are not active. They are not people who are paying attention. For us as citizens of Nigeria, it is important that we pay attention. It is important that we ask questions. It is important that we are people that participate. It is important that we are people that hold our leaders accountable. See, I understand as I'm saying this thing, I say you don't even know what we are talking about. There are a thousand things you will say to counter what I'm saying. Track with me. We are going somewhere. Just breathe. We are on a journey. People who hold their leaders accountable are active participants of democracy. People who care about the common good, not the good of your tribe at the expense of another person's tribe, not the good of your religion at the expense of another person's religion, not the good of your business at the expense of another person's business, the good of the common good of everybody within the system. And you'll be wondering, isn't that an outlandish thing to say? How can we care about the common good of everybody? What do you mean by that? Don't worry, we're on the journey. We just started. Welcome to episode 1. Scholars have described democratic engagement as active citizenship expressed through participation in public life. And it is also a part of collective decision making. When citizens disengage, when citizens of Nigeria disengage from democracy, for example, you say you are not going to vote because your vote does not count. You say you are not going to register for your voter's card because the line is long. You say you are not going to go to the website to register because it's confusing. You say the INEC system is down, the website where they register for your voter's card is down. As a result, you are frustrated and you do not want to engage. When citizens disengage, democracy weakens. It did not say when the political parties disengage, when the governor does A, when the president does, it doesn't mention any of the leaders. It mentions people, people from beginning to the end. When citizens participate, democracy in that nation is strengthened. This is why voters' turnout is often used around the world as an indicator of democratic health and civic engagement. The higher the participation, that generally signals that, okay, citizens are quite involved in public life. The lower the participation, then you now hear the reports of the news media when they say things like citizens are not engaged in public life. What that means is that citizens are not registering for voting. On voting day, the ones that registered and got their card, they are not showing up. As a result, they are not participating in the public life. The public life that has to do with your citizenship participation, your voting, your advocacy, all of the things I mentioned when I described democracy, you are not actively engaging in it. So if we want the democracy in our nation, Nigeria, to be strong, it has nothing to do with the politicians. It has nothing to do with the political parties. It has everything to do with me and you. Everybody listening to me is me and you. Now you ask me, okay, I've heard all that you said, so why should I vote? Thank you for asking that wonderful question. I appreciate it. Why should you vote? Especially when you're disappointed in the state of our nation. Why should you vote? The vote does not count. So said the 40 million people that refuse to go and get their cards, the 40 million people that continue to say that their votes don't count, the 40 million people that during election day they take it as a public holiday. Vote does not count, says all the people that sit in their house. I bet you the people that go to the polling unit will never tell you that their vote did not count. The people in the last election, Lagos State in the last election showed us that our vote counted. All the people that showed up in the north, in the south, in the east, in the west, showed to us that our vote counted. We again, I do not want to state the obvious. We already, there's no point. You see, when something is already broken, there's no point going to hit something that is broken. It's broken. Do you understand? I'm not here, right? Like I said in the beginning, the goal of this podcast is not to go and say it's broken, it's broken. It's already broken. We know. What do we do to remedy this broken situation? That is the thing. Let us stop saying Nigeria is this. Like, we know all the things that Nigeria is not. We know it. Nobody is deaf or dumb or blind. We know all of it. With that knowledge, what have you done? That's my question to you today. Have you registered for your voter's card? Do you even know the website where they go and register? Do you know the process of the registration? Okay, you voted before, but you're no longer living where you used to live. Do you know that on the website you can transfer your card from where it used to be, from the last place you voted, to your new location? Do you know that? Are you aware that that's a possibility? Okay, if you do not know, I've told you today. Just go on Google. Don't just type Nigerian voting Nigerian voters card registration website. It will pull out the website for you. The process is seamless and it's fast. I have tried it and it works fast. The only place that you might have a hiccup is if you're transferring, your pictures might not be captured properly, and you would have to go in person to get your pictures captured. And you'll be prepared for that journey. Don't worry, we're coming here. Let's go back to the question you asked me. You said, why should I vote? Is it even important? Why are you stressing us? This day, why did you just suddenly come and you're talking about let's go and vote? You already said that your vote does not count, right? You say you're not heard. You said, when I think my vote will not change anything, they already know who they are going to select. Who says so? Who told you they know who they are going to put as president? You know, there's a way a lie, eh? And I don't want to go scholarly. Let's sit on this place that we're in. There's a way a lie will be told for a long time. That lie will sound like the truth. There's a way a lie will be fabricated and told from generation to generation to generation, and they will believe that lie. They will sit with that lie. The people that told the lie to the next generation will take it as tradition and hold it with utmost respect. Voting is important because it is one of the most direct ways you and I, as citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, can influence who governs us and prioritize what receives attention. Voting, I'm saying this slowly so that you won't say that you did not hear what I said. Voting is important because it is one of the most direct ways citizens of a nation, in this case Nigeria, can influence who governs them and what priorities receive attention. If your vote does not count, why do they come to your community and give people rice, groundnut oil, beans, gari? Have you ever sat down to think about that? If the people they are giving those things to, it did not matter, why would they give it to them? They will just sit there, allow people do what they like, and then they'll declare themselves as winners. But they cannot do that. Why? They have to go and do what? influence with bag of rice, with gari and beans and noodles and what again? Onions. For some people that are gracious can give you tomatoes if it doesn't rotten on the way to the place of dispensation. If voting does not count, why do they do campaigns? Why do they send media influencers to speak good for them? Why do they have hefty campaign budgets if your vote does not count? Why do they bombard streets with people to threaten other people not to come out and vote? If the vote does not count, why do they steal the ballot boxes? If the vote does not count, why do they send people to go and start fraudulent campaigns about their opponents? Why do they try to discredit opponents? Why is there always a tug of war of this person saying is their time, another person saying it's not their time, another person saying it will not be their time, another person saying it must be their time? Why is there all that debacle if it does not count? The lie of the system is to keep you in your house, sleeping, washing clothes, fixing eyelashes, doing your work, right? Eating, cooking, sleeping, watching soccer, playing game when your destiny is being decided. Because somebody told us a lie that when we vote, it's not counted. And so we did not do much critical thinking. We just went with that lie to say, oh, truly, it's a lie and nothing happens. Nothing works. This nation is the way it is forever and ever, and we move on. Voting does not solve a nation's problem, but refusing to be a part of your country's voting system will improve on that problem. Voting is not magic. It's not a wand that we just immediately we vote, because of course we have seen situations where people know who they voted for, people know who the majority of the votes went for, and when it got to the place that it needs to go, things happened, things changed, and they declared a different result. We understand those truths. Those are facts. They happened. We saw them. We were following the tribunal for weeks. People got disappointed. People got tired. And they said they were not going to vote again. Voting is your civic responsibility as a citizen of your nation. And in this case, every citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is eligible to this civic responsibility and to exercise it. So, there's a population report I saw. They said Nigeria has the highest amount of young people. 200 million. Was that what they said? Yeah, 200 million young people. 200 million young people. If all 200 million of us go out and vote, register to vote, show up on election day, have you ever had that picture in your mind? Have you ever thought about it? What that would look like? Because there are consequences for when we withdraw from participating. Imagine a community with me where responsible, thoughtful people, educated people that can speak all kinds of what's the word? That can speak all kinds of grammar, go on to the best schools, they work in the best jobs, they drive the best cars, they live in the best areas of town, but then they decide that they're not voting. Who makes the decision? Who makes the decision that affects them? Who chooses the leaders? Who shapes public priorities? History continues to repeat itself and show that when we don't participate in election processes, organized interests and smaller groups often gain this appropriate influence over public decisions. So when you choose not to register for to vote, after all, you earn a lot of salary. You feel like Nigeria can never happen to you. You feel you will never be sick. Even if you sick, you have the best HMOs. You go to the best places. You live a healthy lifestyle. You work out. You are never sick. You are healthy as a horse. Nothing can happen to you. So you think that nothing will happen to you. So did the people whose children were kidnapped. They did not think that children could be kidnapped. They would never have, nobody would ever have imagined that those ethical lines would be crossed. Women and children, little children and women. You cannot stay neutral. Apathy is not neutral. Whether you vote or not, you are making a statement. When you vote, you make a statement. When you don't vote, you are making a statement. Apathy is not neutral. And apathy will create a vacuum. And that vacuum will be filled by somebody. The question I will have for you and I today is who feels it? Who feels that those vacuums that are left open because a couple of people refuse to vote? We say we are Christians, Muslims, other religions. We say we have allegiances to the leaders of our religious sects. You say things like your hope is not in your government, your hope is in your God. Great. You say your salvation is not in your politicians, your salvation is in God. Great. You say your identity is not in your political parties, your identity is in your God. Great. But are you responsible in that religious sect that you belong to? So, what do I mean by responsibility? You're a citizen of a nation, you live in a nation, and the activities that concern that nation, you choose to put your head in the clouds and pretend as though you do not understand what is going on. You continue to think that lie that your vote does not count. For those that are Christians, that will be my focus because that is the area that I have a lot of knowledge. Some knowledge, let me put it that way, some knowledge. So I'll be addressing people of faith. We preach, we say all these things. When it comes to time for election, you are in your house. Some of us even fast and pray on election day. You use that day. There's a fasting you've been trying to do. You use election day to do that fasting. Did you go out to vote? No. Why? You sit in your comfort zone and you say your vote does not count. Do you know that if you read your Bible very well, you will see that scriptures constantly, consistently teaches responsibility, service, stewardship, and the seeking of a good society. When Jesus was describing his people, he said, we are the light of the world, we are the salt of the earth. The salt of the earth sit inside their house when things that needs to be salted is being done. Does light of the world stay inside their house when things that need light needs to happen? We make it look like because we are Christians and we have the ability to pray, we are sort of we can exempt our political, no, let me not call it political. We can exempt ourselves from citizenship participation and then we now go back and hound God for our own negligence and tell him to help us. God gave us a brain. That brain is situated in a skull. That skull has the ability to fire neurons and think. And you and I, adults 18 and above, have the opportunity to be registered voters of a nation, to decide and influence the choices that are being made within our sphere of influence. But yet, we do not do it. We turn the other way and we pray instead. I'm not saying we should not pray. I am saying that after you prayed, what did you do? Before you prayed, what did you do? How was your voice heard? You pray for your leaders in authority. You pray that God should help make them make the right decision. But who did your voting influence to be a leader in your community that has now had a ripple effect to making the society better? Did you do any of those things? But yet we say what? We are salt of the earth. We are light of the world. We are called to this earth to do signs and wonders. Yet, the little sign and wonder you can do that does not involve money, that's free, that you can influence, that you can change, which is going to get your voter's card, registering for it, transferring it if you're not in the place you used to be. You didn't do it. But then you sit down and you complain and you complain and you complain. And then we all now want God to superimpose his plan on the earth. But the ones that are his representative on the earth refuse to move. How, what do you think God is going to do? He will bypass the systems and structures? If God could bypass the systems and structures, he wouldn't have sent Jesus to come and die. He would have just saved all of us once and for all. He wouldn't. There would be no need. He's God. But he sent Jesus. Jesus had to be in a woman. You know, Jesus spent 9 months in the belly of Mary, right? He didn't enter, and because he's Christ, right? His gestation period was now 2 days, and Mary gave birth after 2 days. That didn't happen. He followed time and season. Yeah, and she gave birth, right? And he grew. They didn't give birth to him today, and tomorrow he became 33 years old, and then he fulfilled ministry, right? He trekked, he drank water, he ate food, he had friends, he had family, he lived in a society. So if God, the creator of the whole universe, the one who calls time before time began, the one who made the sun, the moon, and stars, the one who beautified the skies and told the sun to stay at day and the moon to rule at night, if him can send the savior of the world to go through time, and then we think that the process of democracy is not useful, and electoral days are public holidays, and then we don't perform our civic duties, but then we go back to him and cry and fast and pray and scream at him and tell him to change our country. Selah. Selah. Think on that. Please think on what I've just said. Think on it. Many citizens in Nigeria today are discussing voters educate voters registration. Many people are talking about how they want to transfer their voting. People are talking about elections, political parties, accountability. What's the future of Nigeria? Those that cannot wait, they've left. Those that can wait and they are just waiting for time to happen for them to leave, they are leaving. Some people are hopeful, some people are frustrated, some people are a bit skeptical, some people are afraid. There are all these emotions that are going around, and we still forget that regardless of where we stand, the future of our nation is not dependent on the leaders alone. We as citizens, we have a huge role to play. We have a mighty part to take. We shape our nation by the decisions and the indecisions we make. The quality of the leaders that we have in these positions reflect us as a people. If a certain person is in political office and you do not like that person, it's two things. It's either you went to vote for that person or you did not vote for that person. Either way, not voting sounds like, and either way, voting sounds like. So, voting is either you voted and your vote was stolen, or you did not vote and the majority of the stolen vote was counted for that person. So, saying that I'm not going to go and vote because my vote does not count is saying whoever they put there is fine by me. Because you didn't go and exercise the authority you have to change it. Saying that you will not go and do the process because it's difficult is you saying, I will chill and be comfortable. After all, I have a car, I have a house, I eat, I earn a decent amount of money. I will just be managing and be going. And I will be praying to God. He will help me. My question to all of us, as we have now entered 2026, have we now been seeing how God has been helping us? Have we all seen the consequences of our decisions and how God will still allow us to see the consequences of our decisions? Democracy is one of the strongest ways that we as citizens can be committed, informed to a common good for the entire nation that we live in. I beg everybody listening to me, right? Please, regardless of how you feel right now, regardless of all of the things that are happening in Nigeria, regardless of what you believe in and what you don't believe in, the people you trust in and those that you don't trust in, I beg us, go today and register to vote. If you do not have a voter's card, please go and register. If you have and you cannot find it, just walk into the nearest INEC office. You can sign for a transfer. Please, we all need to register to vote in this next election season. We can no longer say that it's too difficult. The life we are all living, whether you are rich or you are poor or you are middle class, the the depth of the economic realities is hitting everybody, regardless of the class that you are in. Complaining from today till tomorrow will not solve it. We have also seen that protesting does not solve it. Can we consider trying to go out and vote in our numbers, in the hundreds of the millions that we are? Please, if you go on the website, it's not working, find a day, leave your house very early, and go to the INEC head office. There's one closest to you. Do that research, find their office, go there and find a way to register, to get your card so that you can vote for your choice of candidates. As we continue on this journey, please remember that an informed Nigerian citizen or an informed Nigerian citizen is our nation's greatest asset. The Bible says, my people perish for lack of knowledge, and that's why I'm here to give us insight on what it takes for us to be active participants in our nation. We believe in the for the Oaks of African podcast that citizens build stronger nations when they are informed. So I beg us, let us not sit by the sidelines and think that only prayer will help us in this nation. We have prayed. Now let us go outside, register to vote, register to vote. Transfer your voting card from where it used to be to a new location if you have moved from there and you know that you can't go there for the elections. We cannot be tired. I know it's tough. It's already hard. So why don't we just take that hardness and do the all of the things that is required? Let us not make excuses. Because if we do, we don't know what's going to happen. Let's not wait to find out the consequence. Let us do what is needed to move us from where we are to the next level. And we cannot do that by sitting on the sidelines. We have to go out there and do our bidding. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, keep building. This is For the Oaks of Africa podcast. It's where we speak to the conscience of the people. Thank you so much for listening to me today. It's been an amazing time, and I look forward to our next time. Enjoy the rest of your day.